Well, welcome back to another video. We're starting this one on a Friday night because we've got these eggs to candle and we like to do it in the dark. So we've already had 2 lots of 24 eggs in, which turned out to be dud. And we moved the ducks to the new location, some deeper water, hopefully to get a successful breeding out of them 3 weeks ago. And we put the eggs in 5 days ago, so we're going to candle them, see if it's viable. If not, we're going to give them one more chance, and then I'm afraid it's going to be curtains for the majority of them. So we'll give them a candle and see if we're successful.
Just to say, he said it was going to be curtains 2 times ago, and we're still trying.
Let's give them a chance. This is the last chance house.
Yeah, we'll see, we'll see.
Alright, do I get the lights? Right. So we've got 2 different types in here. We've got the Aylesbury's cross pekins, which are the large breed white ducks, which we raise for meat, and then we've got 2 lots of runner ducks in here. So hopefully one of them will be doing us a service. Not a good start. That looks good. Stood. These are the Aylesbury ones I'm doing first, which are the big white breed. And they all look good, so we'll switch up to the runner ducks.
Slightly different coloured shell.
Oh, I don't believe it.
So we're looking for anything that doesn't look like
we're looking for a little
yolk.
Yeah, we're looking for a little red spot and some veins coming out in the middle, and unfortunately,
that one maybe.
Yeah, I
that
think
one looks possible.
I think that's a possibility. Yeah, that one is totally dead. Oh, see there, that's what we're looking for.
Hang on, turn it over a bit because the light's too. There we go.
So that's what we're looking for, the little dark embryo in the middle with all the veins coming out. So that's definitely one duckling.
Shh, don't wake it up.
No.
No, it's stood.
No.
So were they runners?
No, I think that was the Aylesbury one.
Oh, I hope so.
But, oh, there you go.
Oh, there.
Oh, is it?
No, maybe not actually.
No. Well, I think what we might have to do is just scrap this experiment and start collecting them again.
Well, we can't do that with the couple that are viable.
Yeah, there's only 2. We're not going to leave the whole.
We can't do that.
Right. Right, we're in a bit of an awkward situation here. We've got 32 eggs in there. 6 are definitely fertile. A few others are questionable. So now we're in the dilemma of whether we keep the whole incubator on just for 6 to 10 eggs, or we scrap the whole project and start again. So we will start collecting the eggs from tomorrow, because obviously moving them has helped. But there's only one answer for Tracy, and that's leave them in and leave the whole incubator on for the 6 to 10 eggs. So what we'll do is, for definite, we'll leave them in for another 2 or 3 days, test them again, make sure they're growing as they should be, and then we'll just take all the unviable ones out, get rid of them, and then we'll probably leave it on. But collect the eggs anyway, and then we'll put another batch in another 3 weeks when these ones are due. Right, Saturday morning we're making a start with these railings on this decking. It's not ideal filming or working weather. It's blowing a gale, it's freezing, but we need to get it done. Like you guys know, we work all week, so we've only got the weekends to really do the main stuff. So we've decided on what we're going to do. We're going to put 3 rails like one at the bottom just off the floor, one in the middle, one at the top touching this, and the fence post and the fence rails, we're going to just rip them in half because they looked a bit too bulky when we put them on there, and we're just going to separate them along like that, all the way across, all the way around, so we can see through, but it keeps the dogs from getting on during the day. So that's the plan. Hopefully by the end of today it'll all be finished.
It might look sunny on the camera, but I'm sure that was too windy to hear what Stephen was saying. It is absolutely freezing in the wind. My hand is so cold recording. I'm going to have to get some of those gloves that you can still use on the camera with. For our evening meal today, we are starting to go through the freezers, and I've pulled out some ribs, which I think they might even be a couple of years old, but even so, they've been in the deep freeze. And I've got this, which has been in the pantry since forever. I haven't actually checked if it's got a use by date on it. Best to find a June 2026. So that's even if it wasn't in date, I'm sure it would be absolutely fine. It would just lose a little bit of the flavour. Never had it before, but I think it will be perfect use on the ribs. I'm going to add some onions and a bit of stock in the bottom of the slow cooker, and probably between the ribs as well, just to give them all some flavour. But first of all, I'm going to pop them in here with a little bit of oil and marinate them. Well, not marinate them ahead of time. I'll just kind of put them in the slow cooker and they'll almost marinate whilst cooking, I guess. At least that's what I hope's going to happen. I'm just adding some of this extra virgin olive oil. It is so cold in our kitchen. It's literally come out really thick. I'm putting on some freshly ground black pepper, and then I've also added in just some mustard all across the bottom there, and then I'll probably just put each of the ribs on top. I haven't got my tripod, so that's why I'm doing it like this, apologies, and then just literally try and get a bit of that on each of the ribs. A couple of onions in the bottom of the slow cooker with some tomato paste. I think that'll be absolutely delicious, at least I hope it will. So I'm going to put a small layer of onions between each lot of ribs, I think. So there's not, normally I would cover the whole of the bottom, but I'm going to use 2 onions and just half between each layer, if that makes sense. That's laid up nicely. I've just put some tomato puree down the sides and just some sugar just to balance that Cajun spice. I've used a ton of the Cajun spice, so I do think that it might need something just to take the edge off. And the other thing I'm going to do is just add this stock and maybe half of it. We'll see how we get on, because this is about a 6 litre pot, so it's a lot that's going in there, and we'll see what that turns out like tonight. I'm grabbing some more leeks. I'm going to do a soup for lunch, but this one, how pretty is that? It's literally, I've looked at it every time I come out and avoided getting it because it's so pretty, but today's the day, so I'm going to harvest these. I'm going to get 3 just to do a quick leek and potato with sausage meat soup. This wind is absolutely brutal, coming in gusts. Anyway, I think wild garlic will go fantastically in a soup. So I'm actually going to use the soup maker today, which some people might class as cheating, but I find it an absolute lifesaver. I've got 3 leeks instead of adding more onions in. So this is the onion from putting the slow cooker on this morning that needs to go on the compost heap. I've grabbed a huge handful of wild garlic, and you can see one of the bulbs did come up. I'm not bothered about that because this is what's spread. So I know if I take the bulb up, obviously it won't grow back from that next year. But this is the stuff that I really need to move because it's become a bit invasive, so I'm quite rough with taking that out. We'll put a load of black pepper in, freshly ground black pepper in as well, but literally leeks, potatoes, and then the wild garlic will go in once it's cooked, just to wilt down. I'm also going to serve it with some sausage meat because I've got some out the freezer and we didn't end up using it for something else, so I think that'll go really nice. And of course Stephen needs meat with everything. So we've got just a couple of chopped up potatoes in there, and I've just added some onion granules because that's what I happen to have on hand from a recipe I was doing recently. So I just thought I'd add some of those in as well. I'll put the black pepper in at the end, not for the cooking. And if you wanted to add garlic or anything in, you could do that. I'm literally now going to take the leeks and add them in all the way to the fill line and then fill it with stock and put it on. I've cut the potatoes nice and small because this has got a predetermined cooking amount of time. And if you put them in too large, then there's a risk that they won't. But to be honest, it's no extra hardship chopping them up a little bit smaller. If you wanted to, as I say, you could also add an onion in. But I think this is going to be very nice. I'm not putting any extra garlic in because obviously we've got the wild garlic. The wild garlic, I'm just going to give a rinse through. I know this is wild garlic because I planted it, so I don't need to kind of worry about collecting it in clumps to make sure there's nothing else in there that's poisonous. There is one that has started to produce a flower. Every part of wild garlic is edible. So there is a bulb. That's the root of it, so you could clean that up. You could eat the roots if you really wanted to, but I've just chopped that off, and I'm essentially going to chop this down and cook it in with the sausage meat, I think, and then some of it, if I just had the leaves, I could just chop those and just wilt them in the soup at the end, just leave it in the hot soup for 1 or 2 minutes just to wilt down, but I think what I'm going to do is cook it in with the sausage meat. I'll definitely cook the sausage meat off first because that's going to take a lot longer, and I'll just add this in at the end, and then you can basically pick if you just want the soup, just the soup on its own, which is actually underneath that shelf, because sometimes the soup maker gets very excited and jumps about, so I tend to put it under the shelf just to make sure that it stays put. So you can pick if you just want soup or if you want the extras as well, so then more than happy just to leave that out for people to grab when they're hungry. Right, that's just gone off, so first opening, watch your hands. There we go, that's what it's looking like. I'm going to take that off properly, give it a stir, put lots of black pepper in, and then that's ready to serve up. That will just stay hot in there though until we're ready to use it. I also added some chutney that we had left to the sausage meat, and I'm literally going to pour the soup over the top of it, if I can do it with one hand. This is Stephen, so he wants quite a generous amount. And then wild garlic and cheddar. I'm sure presentation could look better, but you get the idea. It's so cold. The wind is literally like ice. When it stops being windy, it's not so bad. And the sun was out a minute ago, but it's gone in. The plot thickens. Do you know what this is for? Let me show you the latest activity since we were last out here. I didn't get this out straight away, and I wish I had, because there's 3 more huge holes and a dead pigeon. Or the remains of it, at least. I'm wondering if something's had it under the hedge there. The neighbours do have cats. You don't normally see them get pigeons though. And I haven't seen a fox in here or anything. All of this has got trellis, I don't know if you can see through there, all the way around it. So this isn't just a hedge, and it is literally, we're completely secure. We've seen one rabbit, which was on the other side of that trellis in the 10 years that we've lived here. I've never seen any rabbits, any foxes, we've seen the molehills, any badgers. However, I have noticed a lot more badgers that have been hit by cars, roadkill. This one, I think this is the one that was here last time, but it's got even bigger now, so I'm going to leave it. And the other one over there that I think was here last time, that's also been a bit bigger. And then this one here. But somebody was saying don't rabbits like kick it out behind them, but then again I suppose everything would, wouldn't it? But yeah, that step over the rhubarb bed, something's definitely sat there and had that fox. So let's find the best place to put this. I need to get some new batteries for it. Blooming expensive batteries these days, aren't there? Right, where's going to be best? Right, I would normally attach it to a tree or a post or something, but given that this is what seems to be the most active hole, or most used hole, saying that, I'm not sure. Anyway, I've got to pick something. So I've literally just put it in this bed for now, facing straight down there. So I'll come out tomorrow and see if there's anything on it. And I'll just ask people to start popping their heads in and having a look to see if they can see anything. So that's today's new mystery. There's no more in any of the other beds. I've had a wander around and had a good look. And I know people think we've had all of the usual culprits mentioned. So I will be really looking forward to seeing what it actually is. And I hope to be able to tell you on this video how we're going to then deal with them, or it, I don't know. last year was just a tiny little vole. Maybe I should just have not cursed on that so much and just be dealing with that instead. Yeah.
Well, that's it, we're all done for the day. I think it's turned out pretty well. We've had a tidy up, got the chairs on. The sun's on it now, it's still a bit cold like, so we won't be sitting out here, but we've still got quite a bit to do on it. We're going to put a step in there, trim all the edge of it, then put a step in coming out to about here, a nice big step so we can put stuff on it. And then over at the back here, and you might be wondering why we've left it all like this at the back and we're not putting these lats on the back. It's because we're going to take all this down and re-mesh it with some proper nice mesh so that we can see through and see the animals in the field, because when we've got the lambs in the garden and the sheep on the garden, we like to see them. So we're just going to leave all that open but mesh it so nothing can get in or out. We were thinking about continuing this railing all the way around the top, but we'll see how we get on in the future and how it looks when we get finished with the mesh and stuff. We can easily add a piece onto that, but for now I think it looks spot on. A good useful space. Well, we've just come in to give the pigs the afternoon treats, which is just their food that they get put in a ball, so they have to mess about to get it out. And they are getting very boisterous. Every time you open the stables, they're trying to push their way out. So I think unexpected job for tomorrow, as we've just been talking about it, is to switch them over to stables, and then we're going to build a little pen on the outside like this, so when we go in to feed them, if they do get out or they push past or whatever, then they can only get in the way confined to this, we can easily get them back in and not running all over the barn. And then when they do get a bit bigger, we can just take the door off and give them a little bit of extra space before we get them down into the field, wherever that'll be, because that's not even been started yet. So that's an unexpected job for tomorrow. Shouldn't take long, get it done in the morning. And the weather's not supposed to be very nice anyway, so we'll be working in the barn, it'll be a bonus. See, that's why we go. Ready? So at the minute we're just using this for storage. We've got a couple of bales of straw over there, and we normally have a bale of hay there, but Tracy's just finished the last of that, so before we open another one, that's what we were thinking. We'll swap the pigs over. We haven't discussed how we're going to get them into here yet, but we'll empty this out, swap the pigs over, and then we'll build the pen on the outside. The reason we're just doing that is because we can build it off the goat's pen rather than put another one on there and it won't be as solid if we make it on there, but if we join it to the goat's pen, screw it to the floor, it'll be nice and solid. So that's the plan, but not for tonight.
I've just scraped the onions off to the side. My goodness me, there is a lot of liquid there, and that's looking like quite a lot of fat, I guess. The smell is intense. So I'm going to take all of the ribs out on the onions and probably just strain it and see what I'm left with.
We'll put this over here and block the pigs. And we'll just pull it back into this one.
It's brilliant. You only lost a tiny bit, which that can go back in for their bed, yeah.
Right, Sunday morning, well, nearly Sunday afternoon. We're a bit of a later start this morning. We've had family around, so we're going to attempt to move the pigs. I've just been out the past half an hour cleaning out the stable, getting it ready for them, and we're going to get ready to build this pen. But first of all, we need to move the pigs in, because this is just going to be a solid pen with no gate on it or anything, so we can just step over it. So we need to get the pigs in before I build that. So hopefully, this is just a temporary run, so hopefully they'll just follow Grace and go straight in with a bit of luck. So we'll open the
getting out, are you?
gate and let them go. No, I'm getting out the whole thing, so don't swing that right over.
Come on, piggies. Come on, pigs.
Go on.
Come on, piggies. Come on, this way. Here, this.
Go on. Go on.
This. Keep on.
Go on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Yeah, man.
Go on. There we go. Simple as peas.
Kicklot's gone down.
And just like that, they're in.
Eaten.
Well done, Grace.
Savage.
Right, well, since moving the pigs and last night, plans have changed a little bit. We were just going to do one pallet wide so that we could open the door and get in, and if they did get out, it wouldn't be a problem because they'd be confined in here. But the Royal We have decided we want a bigger pen for them, so we are going to make it this wide, and we're going to actually take the door off so that they can have out here as well, and they can see all the other animals. They can see the goats in there, and we can feed them out here just over the pallet, so it won't be as problem getting in and feeding them and worrying about them escaping.
Oh, what, sorry?
Passes another 80mm screw off the... Right.
He's using it.
Some scissors, please.
2:05.
Right, well, we finally finished. Took a couple of hours. Tracy's been on, cleaning all the chickens out, cleaning out their old pen, ready for all the storage stuff to go back in there. While I've been on with this, got it finished. It's all it is just 4.5 pallets, and I've just topped it off with these fence railings and doubled them up. It just gives it more security and holds everything into place. So we are going to open the door, take the whole door off, and take it out, which is just as well because when I was in and out, I actually trapped one of the little piglets' feet in the door, and I feel absolutely awful because it squealed like hell. But it seems to be alright, it's putting its weight on it. So we'll just open the door and let them out.
It's totally fine.
Right, pigs? Oh, hang on, put too much straw in. Another handy thing, we've got the water outside now, so we can just fill that up from outside without actually coming in, and we're going to put the feed out here as well, so we can just lean over and put the feed in without coming in. But we will still come in and handle them because we need to get them friendly. And mind you, this one is over friendly sometimes. She's been getting down, she's been climbing all over us. Are you going to do it again? Like that. So you're getting very friendly, aren't you? Yeah, you're getting very friendly. Yeah.
Right, I'll top this water up because, oh.
I'll have to get this gate off. After you with over. Yeah? You want a kiss? Kiss. And a kiss. Oh, a pig. Hey, come back for a kiss. Come on in. Oh, hello there. Hello, pig. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. We might have to keep all of yous.
I tell you, you're going to lose your ear. You do know that, don't you?
Oh. That must be the one I caught the foot in the door. Didn't want to know us. You know, it's silly.
I think we need to put a bit more straw in there now. They've been...
Right. Then we'll get that straw in this corner. Go on, Martin. Yeah, go on. Right. Right. Yeah.
Don't you just hate it when somebody opens the bale before it's being put where it's supposed?
Really? Yeah.
I can't reach that far. Well, as you can see, some of them are getting much more comfortable than others, and some are just much more boisterous. Sorry, lady. We've never had so many animals in the barn, or the pens set up the way that they are, as before at all. So this is a first for us. I think we're just going to keep on extending. To be quite honest, the only place that we need to walk is down the middle. So Grace and I have pretty much decided we're just going to try and put animals on both sides and see what Steve says. So we've got Sonic the pony at the back, the goats in the middle, the crazy weaners just here. They will be moving later on in the spring and summer, by the way, but what we're going to do now, we've got the trailer to move them. We'll just put them in the trailer and take them down there, so we're not worried necessarily about how much weight they put on in here. And obviously they've got plenty of room to run around, but we do prefer to have all the animals outside ideally. This pen here, which Stephen created, and we used it for the birds. I hope you can hear me, by the way. It's one of the windiest days. Yesterday, today, crazy wind, so we've got the trees scraping on the barn and everything. But this pen is ready for the lambs. We've used it for the birds before when we had lockdown. Stephen created that. And we've still got the other pens in here. If you want to take a look. The hatch is open, so they're in and out as they please. The chicks, which are the ones on the tops, last year's chicks, are tending to be in more than they're out. They're not keen on the wind. So perfect timing. One of the older Rhode Island Reds is just showing you how she walks up the ramp. And she's obviously going for her afternoon Sunday nap. So we're going to go and get the pony in the field for an hour and just generally keep an eye on the pigs. We haven't put their feed troughs in just yet. We'll put those in tonight when we feed them. I didn't want to put them in and tease them because they're empty basically. So they're just getting used to the place at the minute. They've all had drinks, so they know where the water is. So generally, happy days. I do think we've got a goat that's a bit cheesed off with the situation though. Hopefully that's all it is. Hazel's just looking a little bit unhappy with the new next door neighbours, but generally she looks unhappy with life, so that's not unusual. Anyway, we're going to go and get the pony out and see what we get up to next. The kale plants that are overgrown and starting to flower in the garden, we're starting to feed the pigs, and goodness me, they are loving it. One of them's particularly interested in the roots, but the others are all going for the greens. I'll come save you. No droppings though. Well, we've set the camera here now, pointing over here, because Stephen's just noticed that this ground here is getting used. But what we totally missed was that this red currant bush has been completely and freshly eaten. So I think that might end up dying now, hopefully not. But something, that's quite tall, like that's up to my knee. That is. But Stephen was saying if a rabbit sort of stands up on its back legs, then it'll definitely be able to get that. And also this bit here. And there's also another burrow that he's just uncovered, which is what you saw him digging at here. So we're thinking it might be rabbits, but hopefully the camera will tell. As you can tell, this bit's obviously just where the chickens roam, and we don't often come down and inspect this bit, but we're going to have a look in the veg plot and see if there's anything under the fence coming in that way, because the veg plot's all got this area, this trellis along the side, and we thought it was totally rabbit proof. Should we go in this way, Steve?
It's not getting in there.
But
the big holes in the door, there's that one.
Yeah. Can anyone spot Steve? Cows are giving him away.
Right, it's Wednesday afternoon and we're cracking on with the pig project. So we've got them all settled inside. They're quite happy in there. We're happy with them in there for the foreseeable. So now we need to work on somewhere to put them outside. So I've been walking around the property and we like to use every inch of our property. As you can see, we're stood on the border of our property there, the neighbours' cows in the background. So I thought, we've just been using this area for a dumping ground basically. We've just been dumping old garden projects, and there's been roof tiles and boulders and all sorts, like big lumps of wood like this. So I've just spent the last hour and a half while Tracy's been at work just tidying up what I could, getting all the big bits out and thinking about putting them down here, because I've got a load of them blue panels that I used for Dexter's fence, for Dexter's roof, sorry. And I'm going to panel all across the border behind Tracy, all the way across that fence, and then put a stock fence on that side. So I've measured it out where I want it. It works out at 2,200 square feet, so plenty of room for space. So if you just go down here, if I've missed anything, I'm sure the pigs will root it all up and I'll find it. So anything big, boulders out like that, once they get in here and they root it all up and start tidying it up, we can use this as a nice usable area. Because when we first moved in here, all this area down here, all up to where the chickens were, was full of bluebells and spring bulbs and stuff like that. But unknown to us, being first timers, we chucked a load of chickens in here. We've never seen a bluebell since. So we might be able to replant it all when we get it all done in a couple of years. But that's well into the future. Right, so we've just come down to the opposite end of where I was, and over here was all these, behind me, all these old fir trees that we took out the garden, were all piled up here. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been cutting all them down, dumping them right in the back corner of our property, which is the last bit of it unused. So I'm gonna, when I moved them all out the way, it created a perfect spot that I think I can put the old tank in here. If I wedge that in there, get it all fastened in, screw it into wherever I can find, that tree, whatever, get it nicely tucked away in here. Then in the summer, when all the leaves come off the trees, it'll be nice and shaded for them. I'm going to take it out maybe 6 to 10 foot into the paddock, so they'll get plenty of sun if they want it out there, but it'll keep it nice and shaded and cool for them in here. So that's the first pen we're on with. And the other pen, which is going to be a lot more work, is over in the other little wooded area that we've got over there. But once I get one built, I know we've got the outside option, and it takes a bit of a pressure off of building the other one. So we just crack on and we'll get there in the end.
And that brings us to the close of yet another vlog. We hope you've enjoyed this, and to see you very soon when we get some time off the paid job to enjoy our Easter holidays. I love you too.